Hey doll, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to talk about recovering from your past. Now I know I can't be the only one that has replayed a situation from my past over and over and over again in my head, and maybe the same negative emotions come back, maybe the guilt, the shame, the anger, whatever it is that you felt when that situation happened comes back all over again every time you replay it in your head. Or maybe you're even still dealing with the circumstances because of that situation, or the result of a situation in your present life right now, and so it's kind of hard to move on from that past situation because you're still dealing with the consequences of said situation, if that makes sense, because I think I just low-key confused myself as well. But nevertheless, I want to talk about that today because it is something that a lot of people struggle with, and we can break free from that. We don't have to continuously feel like we're bound by our mistakes. Trust me, sis, I done been through some things and I done made some decisions where I'm like, okay, this really sucked. The circumstances of this really sucked, and now I have to live with it. But I have also been able to come through and deal with recovery and stop blaming myself for it and all of that good stuff. So we're gonna dive right into that in today's video. Now for this video, you're gonna see me glancing down at my notes because I just had a lot to say and I don't want to skip anything. So you guys already know what time it is. My real OG Delle dolls already know. So the first tip on how to recover from your past is to realize that not all past situations are completely terrible. They're really just lessons learned. You have to see it as not so much of a regret, but hey, if I didn't go through this, I wouldn't be the woman that I am today. When you look at something like a regret, you're more than likely going to really bring out those negative emotions attached to that situation, because it's dang, I can't believe I actually did that. How could I allow this to happen? How could I be so stupid? This, that, the third, and you end up talking down to yourself, which we have no time for that. Sis, you're a queen, fix your crown, period. Secondly, like I said, everything you've been through made you the woman you are today. If you did not go through that, you would not be the wise woman you are, the strong woman you are, the smart woman you are. You would not be any of those things if you didn't go through what you went through. So they're literally all lessons. Even the situations that you felt like, I will never recover from this, look at you right here, recovered, okay? Dealing with it in a better way, walking with your dignity intact. I mean, come on now, you done with it, sis, and you're still dealing with it. Even if you haven't come to a place of complete healing, you're still dealing with it. The fact that you're watching this video speaks volumes, which I thank you very much. But we just have to understand that everything is a lesson. Everything that we go through has a lesson or lessons in it to teach us so that we can be better people down the road. The second tip to help you recover from your past is to not ignore the feelings in the healing process. Listen, people nowadays are obsessed with positivity. I actually did a live stream on my business page about toxic positivity, which if you're not following that on IG, it's at Rondelle Martin. But I talked about that, especially as entrepreneurs, because nowadays everybody wants to be positive. We always want to think positive. We always want to see the glass half full. We always want to be happy. We always want to vibe high. And it's we're humans. I have emotions. I have a range of emotions for a reason. If God just wanted me to be happy, he wouldn't have given me other emotions, period. Why would he give that to me if he just wanted me to be that all the time? That literally makes no sense whatsoever. So it's we have to understand that in a healing process, I have to feel sad. I have to be aware of what I'm sad about. I have to maybe go through some anger. I have to maybe go through a little bit of, feeling some type of way. I'm a little tight right now. I don't even know how to say it. It's just, I'm a little tight. I feel some type of way. I feel betrayed. I feel abandoned, whatever the case may be. And I need to feel that. Let me feel that. Do not allow anybody to rush your healing process. And I have to say, we do really bad with that nowadays. It gets really bad because, again, we just always want people to just be joyous. Just put a smile on your face. You ain't got to feel nothing. Come on. And it's no, that's a farce. That's fake. And we need to start being more transparent and authentic and understand that, hey, people are going to feel some type of way. People have their feelings. And sometimes they just need to feel that for that day. Everybody's different. I'm just speaking for me. But I know for me, I need to feel something. When I feel rushed, I get irritated, and I'm look, I understand you coming from a good place, but now you're really getting on my nerves. Let me feel this feeling for today so I can process it. I'll be all right tomorrow. Like, I know I'm gonna be okay. I know God got me, you know, but it's the platitudes and all that kind of stuff that just like makes you feel rushed into your healing process, and it's just not a good look. You need to make sure that you take that healing process step by step so you can truly heal, you could truly recover, because you have a lot of people walking around here thinking that they are healed, that they had a breakthrough in an area, and they're really just burying it and suppressing it with platitudes and colloquialisms and cliches and a fake smile. Like, that's not healing, sis or bro, because I know I have a few men that watch me. That's not true healing. Like, you really need to go through it, and you really need to feel it, and you don't need to run from it. You don't need to put a fancy cliche on top of it. Feel it. Let yourself feel it. And don't let anybody rush you. If they're rushing you, go ahead and push them to the side for right now and get around people that can walk that journey with you, because there's always someone who will walk it with you. Even if it's just one person, there's one person who's going to be willing to walk that with you. And if that person has to be a professional, then so be it. But go ahead and find somebody that you can lean on that's not going to rush you and silence you just for the sake of you having the joy of the Lord. Like, come on now. Like, let me go through my process so I can get to true joy. Don't rush the joy now. Don't rush it. Stop. Like, that's toxic positivity. Anyways, let's move on to the next point. Next tip is to realize that you probably did the best you know how to do at the time that the situation was in your life. Now, unless this was a situation that you know good and daggone well you had no business being a part of, or a decision that you knew that you should not have made, you made the best choice that you knew how to make at the time. So don't beat yourself up. At the end of the day, like the saying goes, hindsight is 20/20. Like, now that you're out of the situation, you're, you know, moved past it, you can look back and say, you know what, maybe I should have did this, maybe I should have did that. But at the time, you didn't have that information. I can't tell y'all how many times I've been in situations where I can look back and say, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Like, for instance, this might seem minute, but I had bought a car one time, and with the information that was presented to me and what my situation was looking like in my personal life, I was like, let me go ahead and buy this car. Bought the car, ended up not working out, and it got repossessed. I mean, this was a couple years ago, and it is what it is. You know, at the time, I thought that was great, but then life took a turn. Different things happened where my finances had changed, and the car just went bye-bye, and that was it, you know. And I really felt bad. I was like, dang, like, I shouldn't have did it. But at the time, in my life, I needed a car, and things looked okay. The finances were there, but again, life changes, which, if you had missed my last video about having perfect peace, you want to check that out, because I talk about understanding that we don't really have control over like a ton of things in life. It's very, 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 very few things we have control over. Go check that video out, link in the description. But realize that with what you knew, you made the best decision that you can make. So don't beat yourself up. You know better now. You learn from it. Going back to that previous point, it's a lesson learned. You take that knowledge and that wisdom with you going forward, and you act accordingly. So let's go to the next tip. Next tip is to take the lessons from the situation for growth and understand that all things work together for your good. So you can look at your past, and like I had said previously, you can see, okay, maybe I should have did this, maybe I should have done that. If I'm presented with this situation again, I would do this, that, or the third. Take those lessons with you so that you don't repeat the same, you know, decision that you didn't quite like in the future. And then understand that all things work together for your good. Like, yes, you might not have you might not understand why you're going through certain things right now, or why certain things went the way that they went, but they all work together for your good. You're still here today. You're still the woman that God made you to be. You're wiser, like I said, you're smarter. Like, certain things had to happen so that you can be pruned, you can be refined, because if life is just a bed of roses, you're not gonna grow. Like, it all happened for a reason, and you don't have to really understand all the nitty-gritty as to why, but just understand that it did happen for a reason, and God still got the glory out of it. Look at you here shining like the queen that you are, sis, period. So it all happened for a reason. You are not the sum of your past. You know, I know for me, like, when I got pregnant with my son, it took me a long time to just come to grips with the fact that it's not over for me. I'm not like a done deal, you know, I'm not a lost cause, and that it all worked together for my good. Like, had I not gotten pregnant with my son, I feel like I still would have been doing a lot of reckless stuff. I still would have been dating people I had no business dating. I still would have been living in a way that is just not the wisest, especially for where God's taking me now. And so that woke me up, though. It wasn't how I wanted to be woken up, but it woke me up, and it was just like, hey, like, you got a life depending on you. And then now, like, with my platform now, it's even more, because it's like, I don't want to let y'all down. So It definitely keeps me in check, definitely keeps me just like weighing the pros and cons and realizing that it's really not worth it at the end of the day, and to just take those lessons and make better decisions going forward so I don't have to keep repeating the same mistakes or poor decisions. The last tip to recover from your past is to share your story. Like, hiding things, it just makes it harder to recover. You know, it makes it feel like this big, dark, scary secret. But somebody out there needs to hear your story of how you recovered, how you made it through a situation, the lessons you learned, so that they can walk that same path because you've made it out, or you are further along in the journey than they are. And so your wisdom is going to help give them the insight that they need to make better decisions, the insight that they need to navigate out of that situation, and to know that God still got them, because hearing your story is going to be that testimony to remind them, like, hey, if God did it for her, he could do it for me. So share your story. We need more transparent Christians. We need people that are going to be honest and real and raw about what this faith walk is really looking like and what it really entails, because a lot of people just don't have that, and we don't have the real. So the more that we get the real, the easier it helps us in our faith walk, because again, it's just a testimony to God's faithfulness through all the twists and turns of life. So don't be afraid to share your story. Be transparent, because I can guarantee you there's somebody out there that needs to hear it from you. They can't hear it from me. They can't hear it from her. They got to hear it from you, because you're the person that's going to reach them. You're the person that's going to make the difference. That's all I have for you in this video. This is a topic that we could get really knee deep in, but I just wanted to share some quick tips. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. Share this video out with somebody that it can bless them and just help them. Maybe they're stuck on something that happened in their past and they feel like they can't ever recover from it. Share it out with them. Share the encouragement. I hope that this really helped you, and I will see you on the live stream tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern. Love you. Bye.